Hello, in this video I'll try to talk about the great late Robert Gagné, the instructional philosopher, and how his outcomes can be applied for kids who are not following instruction. Because after reading about him, I had found his outcomes are good to be followed with kids who do not follow instruction at home or school. I believe parents should do their best to provide the best learning environment for their kids. However, facing obstacles while they're trying to grow up the kids to be the best is normal, and using theories and follow experts will make huge impact if parents use it for long term. And I think this is the real challenge, is to keep doing the right thing for long term, daily or continually. For example, the first stage of the outcomes for Robert Gagné is the verbal information. For example, stating the definition of term in science class. For example, for my kids who's 5 or 6 years old now, it's gonna be hard for him to define anything in science, so we do not have to follow his theory as it is. We can make a change. So instead of science, I can go for my son with reading, since he's a good reader, and ask him about some vocabulary to define in the book that a new vocabulary, and he can use phrase before or the sentence after to discover the name of the new vocabulary for him. Another stage is intellectual skills, knowing how to do something, and in this age they create stuff and drawing stuff, playing with paper, make some 2 or 3D shapes, and using colors. Discrimination, the ability to know the future of object from another, like what's the difference between a story, short story and novel. What is the difference between two materials in the lab, the computer and the iPad. My son is very good with technology, and he always can do this judge between electronic equipments. Concepts, the ability to classify objects and even according to their future, like iPad, they can use touching, but on regular PC you have to use keyboard skills. So gaining this both skills are important, and you know what is the difference between touching on a touchable device and using keyboard, for example. Defined concepts, the ability to classify objects, events or idea according to their definition. And here is the hard part, the rules and the higher order rules. This is where I have problems with my son to follow the rules all the time, and to know the order between the right rules and regular rules or the high order rules. For example, the regular rules is the ability to do something using concept or symbols. You have your option and you're gonna create something. The higher order rules, the ability to combine several simple rules into a complex rule to do something huge. So you need to go today for school, follow your teacher, do not make any problem during recess time, during this mess be good, come back to home, do your assignment, do your homework. It's a long term, and to follow these rules for long term is a challenge, but you need to reward the boy after that. Also, higher rules for kids in 5 or 6 years is to follow your instruction outside when you're going out, when you're passing the streets, in the parking lot, because as a matter of safety, that is something very important. And keep educating him about regular rules. Higher order rules is very important for him. Like I said, to keep using it in long term is a challenge. To aware him about it daily, continually, is very hard, but I have to do it for my son's safety. Cognitive strategies, a manner in which learner guides their attending, learning, remember, and thinking, which is depends about the age. Something really important to be done at the school, to talk with your teacher about it. I think my son is doing that good, but it's very hard for him to concentrate for a long time, so he always need a short break, need some fun, and then go back. Always need the reward. The attitude is something very important. It's not only you need to be attituding in a nicely way with your teacher, with your parents, but even with kids lower than your age, you need to go and help. That will make the boy always in charge, willing to help all the time, and he will be a humble person in the future, and he can be a leader by this way. Last but not least is the motor skills, the ability to do smooth and actually time performance with muscle movement, for example, or playing song correctly on a xylophone. Since my boy is not that good with music, he likes, for example, to read a book on the iPad. After that, I give him a 5 minutes to read the book, another 5 minutes to do the 5 question multiple choices, and after that I give him a 5 times to draw a picture, even electronically. Sometimes he likes to do that, and write on the picture on the iPad or in the small piece of paper, and do some edit. So since he's a good reader, I enforce him to write every day about whatever story he read today, to make him have the habit of reading and writing every day. I hope it works for all boys or girls who having some problem, and I really learned a lot about reading about this great instructional philosopher. So thank you, and see you later.